By the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4. It's basically just my first impressions. I just bought it on the store yesterday or the day before, and it's only 30 quid, reduced from 55 I think. So there's like 45% off or something like that, and it's only 30 quid. You can get the deluxe edition for 40 quid. But when I seen what you actually get with the deluxe edition, it's only an extra armor set, which you've got to unlock in the story mode, and it's like a digital art book and you know, just bullshit really. Things you can actually do without. It doesn't give you any kind of special benefit. I mean, it does give you some when you've got the other armor on, but you can play the game without it. So I didn't bother getting the deluxe edition. I just got the normal version. But this is from the very beginning of the game. This is like how you're introduced into the storyline and like what's going on and stuff. And as you can tell, like the graphics are amazing, and you see like beads of sweat like rolling down the faces when they're zoomed in, and you know. But I have noticed that the beads of sweat are just like on a loop, and they just keep happening, maybe in different places. But again, it's just, if you like this kind of game, like sword fighting, RPG kind of game, then you won't be disappointed. Plus, as you can see, the stealth elements. But this is all at the very beginning of the game, so I didn't really want to put too much footage in to spoil it for people. But you know, without going into the main like gameplay, I just thought I'd use exactly what I recorded when I very first started playing it. But this gets you used to traversing the rooftops and stealthing about, and you learn like where, like how close you can actually get to people before they suss you. And it's like any game really, where if you're in the line of sight and they catch sight of you, then there's like a meter that quickly fills up, and if you can quickly hide, get behind cover before it fills up. I think it starts white and then it turns yellow and then it turns red. So obviously white is they've just spotted you, yellow is they'll come over and investigate, and red is that they know where you are and they're going to attack. It's the same as most games, but what I do like about this is you can't you can't skip the cutscenes, which is unusual for me, because if anybody watches my videos regularly, you know that I hate that. I hate not being able to skip, because half the time I couldn't give a fuck about the storyline or the bullshit that they're trying to like force you to watch. Graphics, cutscenes, it's bullshit. I can't be bothered. Let us just get into the game. Whereas this, I felt totally the opposite. I wanted to listen, even if there was a skip button. I'm not interested, because I was so invested in just watching it. The characters, the story, it you know, it makes it better. It's more immersive when you play like that. And also another tip, wait, not a tip, but a thing I've noticed, that can you see, you don't really see things that are collectible or able to pick up unless you're very close to them. So even though you can look into a hut and everything just looks like graphics, there's nothing really shining or nothing blatantly obvious that you can pick up until you get close, and then it'll shine and then you can pick it up. So I think it's good how it makes you actually search around, and there's a million things to collect, flowers, and you've got to go to shrines and all that kind of shit, but I'll talk about that later. This is just the footage from when you actually, because when it first starts, you get chucked into a battle, and all you know how to do is hit with square. That's all it tells you to do. But then a bit further along, you have a flashback to when you're a kid, and then you actually learn how to fight here, you learn how to parry and stuff like that. So it's nice little way to bring it back and actually give you a chance to learn the moves. This is your skill tree. If you look to the side, see how there's two little swords on the top left, and then there's underneath that your armor, underneath that your mask. But these are like your main samurai skills, like your parrying and your evasion and stuff like that. and then you can upgrade your different stances, and then you can upgrade like other things as well. Like there's so much to upgrade, and so much to like customize. Obviously certain perks have different advantages, and it depends on the build. If you're wanting to build somebody who's a stealth, then obviously you just concentrate all your points on the stealth stuff and you become unbelievably stealthy. Same as if you want to make a tank, just, you know, you can get the moves that suit quick kills, or where you regenerate health for every kill that you get and stuff like that, so you're harder to kill, and you can just go into the camps and just take people on. Like a samurai, I think it's class because you just stand there still and he's like looking off to the side, and somebody will come running towards you, and then with one strike you just slice him in half, and then you just stay there until somebody else comes towards you, and then you just hit them. Or you can play where you're sneaking about, and you can assassinate people, but you have to play a couple of the story mode missions in order to even unlock the assassinations. So it's tempting, like if you've played The Witcher, or like I said, any kind of RPG game where you get given a full map to explore, and then once you're through the tutorials, the game's like, there you go, here's the full map, crack on. So once it's to resist that kind of feeling of, oh, I want to just go and explore, and I want to go and clear out as many camps as possible and stuff like that, but it serves you better if you just do the first couple of missions, and then you unlock certain things, like you throw in knives, you unlock assassinations, things that'll just make it easier and gives you more options to kill people and clear out the camps and stuff. But like you can see, there's shitloads of things that you can upgrade to: your stances, your ghost techniques. That's actually the Ghost of Tsushima is like the legend of you when you're kicking ass and nobody knows who you are. There's dogs and stuff like that that attack you. I hate the dogs actually because they've got like an irregular attack, so you've got to be good with your dodge and stuff. But it's got a slow learning curve. At the beginning you can pick like easy, medium, hard or whatever, and it adds different effects. Like it changes the filter on the screen where it's black and white, and it's got a different sound filter on it, so that the sound changes to like oldie time Japanese black and white movies and stuff, which is great. That, you see what happened there, how you can press left to call your horse. I always forget and I press right and it initiates the camera mode, which is annoying because I wish there wasn't a camera mode on a quick access like that. I wish you had to just press start or press both your sticks in or something like that. But if you look at the way I handle this camp, like I'm just nitpicking about the camera mode. I couldn't give a fuck really. I've just remembered it wrong. I keep pressing left instead of right to call your horse, or vice versa. But you see how you hold triangle here, and then you wait for him to make his move, and then you leave go of triangle. And luckily for me, that was the leader of the camp, so you level up. But you've still got to take everybody else, and obviously have a look around, pick up arrows, you pick up linen, silk, iron, steel, all the raw materials to actually make your armor from scratch. And also there's no target lock, so it depends solely on you being able to dodge out the way when you have to. And like I say, you see, I'm just trying to hit him with as many strikes as I can once I've got the one opening. But every time it's red, his weapon flashes red like that. That's like an unbreakable kind of block. You can't parry it. So you're best off to move. And like the dogs have those where they have two red attacks straight after each other. So you've got to remember. It's just like every game. You've got to learn the sequence. And there's different stances to fight different people. You know, you use your water stance if you're fighting people with a shield. You use like a wind stance if you're like fighting people with swords or something like that. I forgot the name of the stances, but basically you hold R2 and then you press like the button square, X, circle or triangle to switch on the fly. So if you're fighting two people with shields and one person with a sword, you want to be in a certain stance to kill the person with the sword, because you've got better techniques to killing them. when you're fighting people against the sword, like your first hit knocks their block open, whereas if you're in a different stance, it doesn't. So it pays off to learn the stances and you know, be able to quickly change. This is just like a little mini game that you come across. You've got until as soon as you press the first L1, he lifts, you know, like the blade back to cut. That's the only time you've got to enter the code. So it's L1 XX, L1 triangle, triangle, L1. You've got to quickly press it in the whole time that he just brings the blade back. So, see, I was getting closer and closer, and then I finally done it. But luckily you're allowed to have as many shots as you want. It's not like you try once and you fucked it. But just little stuff like that's worth exploring around and looking around for people to talk to, especially villagers and stuff like that. Oh, here's another little thing. If you come across these hot springs, then you meditate and you can think about certain things, reflect, and it ultimately puts your overall health up. So every time you come to one of these, make sure you stop off and have a little rest. You've got to watch a little sequence like this where he gets his kit off and you have to answer a question, but then it's worth it if you get an extra health, because like I said, the learning curve is quite gradual, but it's like, I don't know, I was going to contradict myself there. I was going to say it's steep, but it's gradual. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it gives you a chance to learn the buttons, but if you make like an easy mistake, then you can get killed within 1 or 2 slices. It's very unforgiving. So I think that's how it feels hard, even though the fighting system's quite easy, easy to learn. I mean, but I don't know, I think it just comes down to your ability as a player. How quickly can you pick it up and how quickly you get used to it. If you don't like the combat or you find it hard, you can just stealth the whole game and just play as a stealthy person. This is another little thing of the game where you'll see animals like birds or foxes, a yellow bird I think it is, and a fox, and they'll lead you to places of interest like shrines and stuff, and then you obviously use the shrine and you upgrade. But I was thinking you can fuck these off, but ultimately it goes in your favour because you actually like upgrading your character. So it's not like, oh, I'm just collecting 1 of 50 and it's just for completionists. But no, you actually do have a benefit from doing it. But yeah, it's on the store. I think it's only until the 14th of April, so you haven't got long. It's only about 10 days left on it or something, so I would go and get it. It's only 30 quid, and it's up there with Red Dead Redemption for graphics and immersion and you know how class the game is. So definitely go and try it out. So that's it. See you now.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.